Isaiah 61 verse 3 says this: "To bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes." Now, to give some context to this section of the verse of the chapter that we're looking at today, in the Old Testament, when people went through times of mourning or submission, even repentance, they used to clothe themselves in sackcloth and cover themselves in ashes. Now, they did this because they wanted to convey the emotions that they were feeling inside, rather than putting on a put together or composed exterior that wasn't actually true of what they were experiencing. Now, this verse really specifically talks about the transition, doesn't it, from ashes into crown of beauty. And I think from this we can see God's kindness, that he wants us to settle for nothing less than total freedom and wholeness in him. But it also shows us God's power as well. I don't know if you've been in a time, maybe you're in it right now, where you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, that it feels like there's no hope to be found. God reaches out his hand and saves us from that place. He moves us forward into newness of life, of joy and of beauty. We'll explore a little bit of that tomorrow as well. Something else that I think this verse shows us that maybe we don't think about as much as we could or we should is God's glory that is seen here. It says in 2 Corinthians that when we experience or see God with unveiled faces, his total magnificence and splendour, his glory, we will reflect and be transformed into more of that. Now, if that is the case, that we are totally exposed to his beauty, his perfectness and wholeness, tears and ashes, mourning and sackcloth, all of those things will no longer be appropriate in his presence, will they? That's not because God doesn't want them there, that we're not allowed to have them in front of him. He's the best person to go to with that stuff, to just sit with and cry with. But the thing is, when we are totally, when it's revealed to us his whole glory, that will no longer be necessary in his kingdom. We don't often think about that side of thing. Maybe we can't even comprehend it. But I wonder if this verse shows us a bit more of that. I'm going to ask you to think back to that time that we've maybe already spoke about, where you felt totally hopeless, where you felt like there was a lot of pain that you were in, but that God delivered you out from. Maybe you didn't notice that it was God who delivered you from it. I want you to think about in that situation where you saw God's kindness, his power and his glory. What beauty did he give you there in place of those ashes? Let's thank God for those things together now.